So here's my shifter with the bad bushings. This is neutral. This is it in gear. Second gear. Fifth. So as you can see, my bushings are gone. Well, this is where we're at. We had to remove the entire assembly. This drift pin was pretty much locked in place, keeping us from getting it off the yoke of the transmission, so we had to invent a tool to do that. The shaft itself, for the shifter bushings, if you look, that little ring is the inside of the stock shifter bushing, which has rust welded itself to the pin, and there was no way we were getting that off underneath the car, so we had to remove the whole assembly. Well, it's all done. New bushings, greased up so we don't get corrosion in there anymore, and there is no way this job could have been done on the car. The drift pin holding the shifter to the shaft of the transmission was seized. We had to make a tool with a welder and different rods to drive it out. Then once we got that out, got this whole linkage piece out, put it on the bench, and it took a rather large hammer to drive the pin for the bushings out from underneath the innards of the old bushings. They were seized as well. Like I said, there is no way this could have been done on the car with it installed. But just moving the shifter around as is, I can feel a huge difference. I'll give it some drive and give you a quick little narrative afterwards. Okay, here we are. It's all done. I'm going to do some editing and see what I need to include, since I wasn't able to do a full install video because of the corrosion on the pins and the drift pin. But going from how it originally was, here it is in neutral. Lot better, very positive, snapping back to center. Going to reverse, instead of going all the way down to here with the shifter. There it is. First. It almost feels like I installed a short shifter as well as a much tighter shifter. Amazing what these bushings could do. And I will edit this and get this posted as soon as I can. Later. How's it going? Here's a little narrative after finishing editing and installing those FullMetal bushings on my shifter. Really, the how-to is about as simple as you can get. The written instructions they send with the bushings through email are pretty inclusive. They're not bad, but I still learn better by seeing, so I thought that's what the video I was going to make would be about. And had it not been for some hidden corrosion that completely locked up the bushing inner liners from the factory bushings, and then the drift pin to separate the shaft from the transmission outlet, this should have been a 20-minute job. If you look at the pictures of it underneath when it was complete, you can clearly see that when you drop the transmission cross member, there are 6 bolts, 2 driver's side, 2 passenger side, and 2 in the center attaching to the base of the transmission housing. Those take less than a minute to get all of them out. They're 15 millimeter. You drop the cross member and you've got more than enough space to do what you need to do. That being said, once that cross member is out of the way, it's easy enough to reach your hand up and remove the C-clip from the passenger side of the car, which was still easy for us to do. And then after you remove that one C-clip, you take the hold of the C-clip on the driver's side of the car and slide the shaft out. Replace your bushings, put the shaft back in, put the C-clip on, and you're done. That's it. However, since this is Ohio with varying humidity, temperatures, and other crappy weather, we've got some hidden corrosion in there that absolutely locked the bushings up tight. There was nothing left but the inner sleeve from the factory bushings, and those were practically welded on. There's no way we could have done it on the car. It just wouldn't have been possible. The effort required to drive those pins out of there. We had to actually make a tool to drive out the drift pin out of a quarter-inch steel rod bent in a Z shape, so we could hammer out the drift pin separating the shifter linkage from the transmission shaft. So that being said, it took us 2 hours, 2 of us working. Anybody else whose car is newer, mine's a 17, so it's had a few years on the road, it's been through some weather. Anybody else with a newer car or one that is in a dry state with temperatures that don't go below 50 or so, you should easily be able to just reach over the top, remove the passenger seat clip, slide the whole assembly out, replace the bushings, slide the assembly back in, replace one seat clip, and that's it. So with that being said, have a good one. See you in the next one.